Things look different. Things are changing.
Yeah, the feng shui of the podcast is a little off right now.
Yeah.
There's significantly less diecast on the wall.
I didn't have any diecast on the wall. Like in my
There's
shop.
significantly less diecasts.
You have diecast? Did you get rid of some of yours? Are you just gonna say the same thing over again?
This sucks.
Is that the title? This sucks.
No,
Don't even watch.
No.
No.
I had a great idea for a podcast name, and I wanted to incorporate it into the show somehow. But I already forgot what it was. I didn't write it down.
Oh.
I had it on Saturday.
You got to get one of those. I wish I carried one around still, but like an idea booklet you like put in your pocket, like a really thin, small. And I guess that's what the notes app is for on your phone, but.
Yeah, but it's exactly because like I'm not like a nerd, you know what I mean? So I'm just gonna use my notes app. I'm not gonna carry around a little booklet where I can write things down.
Right. Davey, are you feeling okay?
But luckily, I have my backpack where I can carry a little booklet, and I use it for work, so it's pretty good.
There you go. Yeah. All right.
What are you gonna say?
I was gonna say, are you feeling okay? Because usually when you're taking shots at me, you take them a little more directly.
What?
What?
I don't know. The last shots I took were on Rocket League, and I was playing pretty well, so.
Oh, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, anything, congratulations on being the points leader out there in California.
Oh, yeah. They
That's
took
awesome.
Like 2 weeks. There's the plaque from when I finished second in Prunedale. It took them forever to update state points, but my brother and I are both number one in NorCal right now for our age groups. Probably
That's so rockstar.
We have the next state qualifier. It's at my home track tonight, this weekend. So I need to win if I'm gonna stay in the hunt for number one overall. But we'll see.
Do you feel good?
I feel pretty good.
You getting some rest this week?
Yeah, I'm gonna race on Wednesday. I didn't race last week because it was just so damn hot. But I've been trying to, like, I went and I just like rode uphill for like half a mile yesterday on my race bike, and it sucked, and I wanted to die afterwards. But I was like, I'm trying to get into a little better fitness. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I went to the kart track for the first time in like 2.5 years.
I was gonna say, how was that? I saw you posting about that on Instagram.
I brought a couple carts. Pops took a couple rides. It was getting pretty hot, so I don't blame. I don't blame him for doing only a couple runs because it was warm, and it was the cart that he started out on is one that we really haven't we haven't driven that one like a lot at all. And the other one was like the racing cart that we used to race all the time, and like I think just like seating position and where the steering wheel was, like all these things combined to like make that cart really hard to drive, like physically. It drove fine, handled fine, but like it would wipe you out when you got off of it. And so he took a nice long break after the first run. He had one of my buddies come out, Liam, who every once in a while listens to the show or will like sometimes he comes into the shop where I work, and he'll like play it on his speaker really loud for like 4 seconds, where it's just my voice. It's really fun. I'm really glad he does that. But he came out. He drove some too. He's a big car guy. Really likes racing. It was cool because we got to give him like an opportunity to do something that he'd always wanted to do, but he never could. He never did growing up, and he still hasn't now. He's like a grown man. He has like a kid and stuff, and he wants to do it with his kid eventually. It was really cool to be able to give him like that opportunity to do something that obviously like healed his inner child a little bit. He loved it. It was cool. I liked it. It was a lot of fun.
That's cool. Yeah.
Awesome.
And Joe moved.
Yeah. Nothing there, really.
Joe just worked.
Pretty much. I'm still recuperating. As you can see, I look like a mess. I am a mess. And it's not going to stop because I'm going to the racetrack this weekend. So, it's but it's okay because it'll be a relaxing weekend, right? Like totally.
Hope so.
Actually, that reminds me. I've seen like 4 NHRA haulers today, and I was like, were they in Sonoma
Yeah, they were.
this weekend?
Hmm.
Oh, okay. That
That's
makes
cool.
sense. Yeah, because they were all heading east, and I was like, I didn't even hear about this. So
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
a lot of people forget the NHRA even exists. So
Yeah.
this is the first time we've mentioned the NHRA in the 3 years of this show. If you want us to talk more about the NHRA, let us know down below. You know?
Yeah, we'll find an NHRA super fan
Yep.
somewhere.
Somewhere.
I'm sure they're real.
Someone's got to like it. I know my dad likes it, but
I know there's a really deep following for NHRA stuff. I've always
yeah,
again, I'm more of like a wheel to wheel kind of
yeah.
fan, so
I
it's like not.
corners.
Not
Yeah,
just
I like
reaction
corners
time.
and wheel to wheel, and like if I was like a big car guy, I'm sure I'd be really into it. But I'm not. Like I try.
It's
I like cars,
something-
they're cool, but I'm just not that
I mean, it's
into it.
just like any racing, right? Like they always say, like, oh, you got to go see it.
Oh, I'm sure going to an NHRA
Just
event
how
is
loud
awesome.
they are.
Yeah,
Crazy how loud they are.
I mean, I would go to any racing event for that matter. I haven't heard a single person go to a drag racing event and say they had a bad time.
Mhm.
So like, fair play, respect.
So, I just made a mistake googling something.
Oh boy.
I wouldn't say a mistake, more just like that was not what I was expecting. So my mom's hometown drag racing is really big there. I don't know why. It's a town outside of Sacramento, and it's called Folsom. And so I googled Folsom drag strip, and I don't know if you guys know, but the Folsom, I don't think it's in Folsom, California, but the Folsom Street Fair is a famous extreme gay pride parade, and brought up something that I was not expecting when I searched Folsom drag strip.
Oh.
I can imagine how that'd be like shocking
I
when
was
you're
like-
looking for race cars. You know?
I know. I was like, why is there a picture of RuPaul here? And I was like, wait, I know why.
I get it.
That's the
I
wrong
get
kind
it.
of Folsom drag racing.
Hey man, speaking of gay, do we all agree that Ryan Blaney is the most attractive NASCAR driver? I think so.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
I think it's pretty
When
easy.
When I was looking up NASCAR fanfics a few weeks ago, there was a lot.
There were a lot of Ryan Blaney ones.
A lot
Ryan
of. There's a
Blaney,
lot of
ex-user.
Chase Elliott.
A lot of Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan Blaney what is it? Yeah, Ryan Blaney ex-user, Chase Elliott ex-user.
Yeah.
Oh
reader.
god.
I did find one Brian Vickers one. That was
What the?
What, like an island or something?
Why, dude? No, no, that's so bad.
All right.
But I can't think of like a lot of cup drives that I would like say are like that's the guy. You know, just Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
Mm.
Figures we're doing this after Pride Month's over. Damn, we
Yeah.
missed the boat on this one.
Oh, well.
Actually, that
It'll-
makes us better.
We'll reuse
Yeah.
this content later.
Yeah.
Like next year in
Next
June,
year
we're gonna
in-
do our
Yeah,
our
in
tier
June.
rankings,
Who's
but
the
it's for
most
like who's the
attractive
hottest.
NASCAR driver?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, this is a weird way to start this episode.
It's kind of gone all over the
Well,
place.
the race was
Yeah.
weird because guess what? It's hot laps. Oh boy, here we go. Hot lap segment. Pew, 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 pew. Still don't have those bumpers that I want to make. Chris Buescher won at Richmond. RFK won again. They did it.
Yeah.
Chris Buescher did it.
So the RFK is good, right? They're done.
Yeah, the rebuild's over, right?
Yeah, no.
Rebuild over.
No.
They're winning
No, it's not.
races.
No. But something that I didn't really like think about, and I think they still have like a small ways to go before I would consider them like championship caliber, but they are both of those teams, even before Chris Buescher winning today, were solidly in the playoffs without much concern of anything happening to that. And that really is that's a testament to how good that team has gotten
Mhm.
over the last 2 years, for sure.
Yeah. Especially considering how much of a disaster they were at the start of last year. It was bad.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Steve Letarte made a really good point on broadcast talking about how those cars, more than any other two cars on any other team, they drive and finish so similar.
It's true.
Yeah.
So when
for
they're
sure.
good and they're on it, they're both on it, and when they're bad, it's not a good day.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And I think this year is kind of the hey, we're having a lot of good days compared to last year where it was a lot of bad days up until this race last year where Chris Buescher finished third. It was kind of that, oh my goodness, they might be figuring it out finally. Because we all know Chris Buescher and Brad Keselowski are both tremendous. Brad, probably one of, if not the best, super speedway drafting style racetrack guys out there right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Buescher is no slouch himself at that, and obviously Roush and Ford in general have such a good pedigree with that. So
Yeah,
it wasn't surprising to see them do good on those tracks last year or this year, but now you're starting to see the runs at the 1.5 miles at these short tracks.
It's kind of surprising how far under the radar Chris Buescher flies, because let's not forget, like, Chase Elliott was like I guess at that time nationwide series champion or whatever. I mean, Chase Elliott was an Xfinity series champion. Came back to defend his title, and Chris Buescher beat him. Like, let's not forget that Chris Buescher did that.
Top 15'd him to death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, he got the damn trophy, so
yeah,
by all means.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's amazing how under the radar. Like, I'm not saying he's the most talented driver in the Cup Series, but I think he's by far the most underrated driver in the top half of the field.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Chris Buescher has definitely been, when I say underrated, more by the metric of just like mainstream NASCAR media, because those in the industry know that he is the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it for years we've known this.
I mean, remember when Roush, they told Ricky Stenhouse, here's your contract extension, and a week later they were giving him walking papers.
Yeah.
For Chris Buescher. So Roush as a whole has had a lot of faith in him. Bringing Brad Keselowski in as another owner, and then I'm sure a bunch of other people, they have shown tremendous faith in him and have said that they want to make him a building block of this team. Chris Buescher seems like he wants to be a building block of this race team. I think, and that's the biggest thing in sports, right? When you do a rebuild, we saw Hendrick do this. Sometimes it's going to take a year or two.
Mm-hmm.
And this is that year 2. Or you could call it year 1, because a lot of people like to call the first year 0, which I think is ridiculous because it still counts. And we still were talking about 3/4 of last season, how bad that team was.
Yeah.
But you're here in year 2 of a rebuild of this organization, and you're seeing really good results. Right? Like, everyone talked about Trackhouse last year and how impressive they were, and it's not to take anything away from them. But they bought a ready-built race team to get there. Ross Chastain had a year with his team before last year to gel and to get this chemistry going. And yeah, Chris Buescher's been in that 17 car for a while, but this team feels completely different than it did 2 years ago.
It feels completely different than it did a year ago.
Yeah.
I'm just driving the point home.
Yeah, I know.
There's just a whole new energy. Yeah, like, there's a whole new energy with this team too. Like, Jack Roush is obviously a very good team owner. He's won a lot of friggin' races.
He's a hard ass.
Yeah, but yeah, there was a very old school, almost kind of miserable energy to Roush for a long time, and like, Brad's ownership has definitely brought a lot of more, I don't want to say fun energy, but
life.
They've brought life to this team again, because for years it seemed like any one of these days now, it's like they're gonna pack things up and be done with it, and then RFK looks like they're gonna be around for a while now. So yeah,
exciting. It's exciting to have another historic name in the series doing good again, right? Like it's fun to see Trackhouse. It's fun to see 2311, these new teams doing well. It's also kind of cool to see some of the older teams doing well.
Yeah, for sure.
And you have one of the most well-read, maybe not always the most correct, good way of putting it, guys in the garage area leading this team. And he's had years under that Penske tree, kind of learning how things worked and building that way. You see a lot of similarities, at least in the way the shop is constructed. Maybe not necessarily with the way they do things, at least in the foundation and those style things. Also, they have this really cool thing. If you look on their social media, They posted it a couple times, but they have these like update boards in the shop for like different milestones. Hey, if we're doing this, we're a top 20 team. Hey, if we're doing this, we're a playoff team. Hey, if we're doing this, we're a championship contender. Hey, if we're doing this, we can be a champion. I don't know if you guys have seen these boards.
I've
I
not
haven't.
seen that.
But they're really cool, and I think it's a really good way to keep people focused on their successes. Like, there's markers on there, hey, we finished top 15. Hey, we finished, or maybe it's 16 because there's 16 cars in the playoffs. It's really cool. If you look on their Twitter, they posted it a couple times. It's a really cool thing.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know. I just, little things like that are, I don't know. They're good. They're good to help people.
Yeah, that reminds me of something I do want to talk about, because that is attention to detail, which is cool. Which is something that 2311 didn't have this weekend, because they they had 2 shots and missed them both. Which, I mean, they both still had good runs, but like it's another week, another pit stop problem for the 23 team, and it was an extremely basic problem of not making sure the handle and the jack is tightened before you try to jack up the car. And it was like, that is such a basic mistake, and it just reminds me of what I was saying a few weeks ago about like top down leadership. Not saying Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan are bad team owners, but it's that lack of attention to detail where if you don't focus on the little tiny things like that, then big things along the way are also going to be missed. And that seems like, to me, it just seemed like that was one of those little details that they haven't ironed over in practice. Like, check all of the tools before you go over the box, like every single thing. Check the air guns, check the jack, make sure everything's in place at all times. And it was like, it literally cost them a win. So,
and to be fair to them, this is their first year that they're training their own pit crews.
Yeah. And it's not to say they're not going to get better, but this is definitely, first time, a lot of uncharted territory for these guys that they got to figure out. So, but it was really cool to see both 2311 cars literally run 1-2 for a good portion of the race. So.
Yeah, and like you said, they both salvaged really good runs despite the issues on pit road. Bubba Wallace grew his points gap by how many points? 30, 20, almost did. Like he doubled it over at least.
Yeah.
Really awesome to see that team. Like especially Bubba as a driver, he's really come into his own this season as far as getting over the mistakes. We talked a lot, as my camera will not focus. We talked a lot about how sometimes Bubba is an emotional driver, and that's a good and a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're starting to see how it's good. I think we're starting to see him work over that, and he's now just able to showcase what he can do behind the wheel without the breakdowns of the mental after a mistake on pit road or whatever. It's cool to see those teams, even though they had the issues on pit road, it's cool to see the performance still come to fruition in a way. And I think to a lesser extent, because they had to do much less work than RFK. I think it's kind of it's a similar level of improvement amongst that team.
Yeah.
And it helps that he's got a really solid team that's definitely around him, and like we've been talking about the pressure of making the playoffs. Like a run like today is exactly the kind of thing that's going to get you there, because it was coulda, shoulda, woulda with this race. If pit road issues don't happen, you think about they could have easily won this thing. They were, it was RFK versus 2311 all day, but to still salvage what they did and still grow their points margin, it's like, all right, we can almost kind of breathe. Not, you're building that gap to the bubble spot. Now you're not even. It's going to take a disaster of a race for McDowell to catch you, and then even then, it's going to take somebody else to win to beat you there. So, the pressure of got to make the playoffs is definitely going to, in theory, fade away as we get closer to the Daytona. So.
Yeah, especially coming up on Michigan, which I think Bubba's going to be lights out fast at Michigan.
Yeah, he's going to have confidence. Too.
Yeah, that too.
Sure. And I think there's going to also be some pressure, though, because we know how everyone feels about the 23 and Bubba on the road courses. So might be a massive amount of pressure heaped onto the shoulders of driver 23 this upcoming week. Something to watch. A lot of talk centering around Chase Elliott. Does he have to win? Can he win? He's now 40 points out behind Michael McDowell, who still sits 16th. McDowell, AJ Allmendinger, another driver, which I don't know if you guys want to say anything about AJ running the Xfinity race that people were like freaking out about for some reason.
I do. Because AJ Allmendinger it's like talked about, Bubba kind of being a confidence driver and like having to go over the mental hurdles sometimes. AJ is the exact same way. I think it didn't work out. He had mechanical issues in the race, I believe, at Road America.
Yep.
With the fans.
Brake issues.
And brake issues. So that'll one leads to another. Anyway, I almost lost my point. If AJ Allmendinger goes out and goes to Road America and he wins, and I know he didn't, but let's say he did, I think he's like almost a lock to get into the playoffs just because he's going to perform so much better based off of that alone. And okay, he couldn't practice the car, he couldn't qualify. I think AJ Allmendinger is a capable enough driver. He can get in that car with minimal practice or with just only sim time or with the feedback from Derek Kraus, who practiced and qualified the car, and be totally fine behind the wheel. Everyone was talking about, well, he's not going to have a chance for stage points. I don't think that car was going to get stage points anyway. So What are we missing out on? I thought a lot of that was very overblown.
Yeah, and it's, again, Justin Haley was there all weekend and he finished 3 spots behind him in 30th. So it's not, I don't think practice time was going to improve Colleague's fortune much more. So, yeah. And especially too, like the Chevys were not very fast this weekend. And it's one of those things where, like, on paper, you could definitely be frustrated where it's like, yeah, well, they need the track time because he's right on the bubble. But it's not like AJ Allmendinger doesn't know how to run an oval.
Right.
He's been here for like 15 years now at this point.
Yeah.
So,
if we turn our attention to that race at Road America, Sam Mayer finally won. Well, let's talk about the shenanigans there in the last lap.
That was nuts.
It was a really fun last lap, or a really fun last 2 laps. Less fun for me, but very fun to watch for sure.
I was going to say, we can bond over the shared pain of both of our drivers throwing it away on the same lap.
At least my driver finished second still. Yeah. We'll take that. That was just so frustrating. Parker got into the lead in the last corner while Sam Mayer and Sage Karam were destroying each other. And Parker slides up in the speedy dry, and the lead changed hands 4 times in those 5 corners on Road America. What a race, man! What a race! What a finish! I to the end of my days, until they go back, I will forever say Road America deserves a spot on the Cup schedule. What a race!
Also, I want to give a shout out to Chandler Smith for heads up move when he lost his brakes.
Oh my god, that was scary.
Put it in the wall instead of just bonsaiing it into the sand pit. So
still huge hit.
Yeah, a big hit, but I think that was a better hit.
Yeah.
I almost the way he hit that wall. Like I said this in Discord chats and stuff, but I feel like he because the wall on the left on the front straightaway ends, and then that next wall, because there's a safety crew kind of. Mm-hmm. There's a gap in that wall, and so the wall, the outlet where that outlet is, the angle of the wall gets sharper. I almost wonder if he thought he was gonna aim for the wall in the front stretch, but that wall ended, because I don't think he meant to hit that wall that hard.
Yeah, wasn't it
he
Jersey
destroyed
barriers?
it? Yeah.
And it doesn't help also that it's the composite body, and the way he hits it, it just shears all of the bodywork off. But yeah, he still hits it a ton.
A lot. I don't know if he meant to hit it that damn hard, but still better than going straight off and
especially because he barely went into the gravel. It was like Chandler, you had a little room to work with there. It could have been much bigger. Everybody was bringing up the clips of that Grand Am race where the dude flew through the fence in turn 1. So
super heads up.
Yeah. So I think that was it for Xfinity. So
Carson Hocevar won the truck race. Ty Majeski's team in ThorSport continues to just throw good races away, whether it be overdriving the car in the last, or truck in this case, in the last couple corners of the lap, or doing funny stuff. But Carson Hocevar, he won one, guys. He won another one without roughing anyone up. So now that's 2. Yeah. It's 2-to-1 ratio. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Baby steps. We're getting there. There's he basically like brought it back up on his feed, but he posted earlier this year. He was like, "Me and my crew chief, we got to win 5 races this year, or we're both getting fired." And then he was like, "Well, I'm up 3, so that's pretty cool."
2 to go with only 8 races left.
Oh my God, Matt Mills got a top 5. I completely missed that.
Yeah, he was in the
Let's go.
51, wasn't he?
He's in the KBM
Yeah.
track.
Yeah.
That's so wild.
It's crazy
What
when
a
drivers that
weird-
have been racing for a while and have good racecraft, getting good rides, they can get good finishes.
Yeah.
What?
I'm trying to
Sometimes. Tell you what, we got to let Matt Mill, man.
Let Matt Mill. That's what I've been saying.
If he ever put out merch that said "Let Matt Mill," I would buy it immediately.
In a heartbeat.
Should tweet that at him.
A few big name drivers,
might.
Stuart Friesen, Chase Purdy, and a KBM truck missed it.
Matt
Both are
Crafton
great
got in
riders.
though. Good for him.
Yep. Matt Crafton is inevitable. He will somehow be in the final 4.
He'll somehow complain about the kids every week.
Yeah.
I can't stand it. I just can't stand it. Just let Matt Crafton die. Like
Whoa, whoa!
In Minecraft.
in Minecraft. Well, it's just like I swear. Like remember
Matt
how we had
Crafton
that
doesn't know
joke
what
about
Minecraft is?
remember how we had that joke about how like Matt Crafton like fortifies himself
Yeah.
to like
Yeah.
to not get fired from ThorSport. What if instead ThorSport just like freezes him over every offseason and then they like
He
thaw him
doesn't
out
age.
and reanimate him before Daytona and they
I could
just,
see
like,
it.
dance monkey and Matt Crafton's like okay and he gets in the Menards truck and he goes and drives.
They've just been like weekend at Bernieing him for like the last 5 years.
Matt Crafton just gets cryogenically frozen. This has been going on for 5 years.
He's like, please, I'd like to retire.
I want to see my family. Get in the freezer.
Now that's a NASCAR fan fiction that we would read that if somebody wrote it. So.
John Peterson's gonna be right on it.
God.
Joe just realized I was right.
Yeah. We talked about karts and Hocevar. Hocevar he's rumored for a Cup Series ride. I'm assuming it's the one with Spire.
77.
Yeah. Or Andretti. That's another thing, but we don't have to talk about that.
The Andretti, I mean,
Wild. That's only
Yeah,
been rumored
that
for
is
the last
wild.
like 13 years or something. So
yeah.
I remember when they were going to buy
joking,
Penske's fleet of Dodge Gen 6s in 2013.
yeah, they didn't have.
I wish they did have
All
them,
one
though.
of them.
Yeah, really. I like it because wasn't Dodge like one of the first to unveil their Gen 6 cars?
Yes.
And they were like, "Look at our Gen 6! Look at how cool it is!"
And everyone was like, "That looks awesome. We can't wait to see it on track." And then Penske was like,
Ford.
"Peace. See
Yeah.
y'all
We're
later.
done.
Look
We're
at it.
done.
Just
at our
won a
car."
championship."
Would anybody like to run it? Anyone?
Right,
Anyone at all?
Furniture Row. They wanted to run it.
There was a rumor I heard a couple of years after that. I can't confirm this at all, but apparently one of the reasons why Dodge pulled out of NASCAR was they had a handshake deal with Gibbs, and Gibbs was just using it as leverage to get more money from Toyota. That's just what I've heard from a couple people. Can't confirm it at all, but
Would it surprise you?
interesting.
That would
Not
not
really,
surprise me. That would not surprise me at all.
If I was
What a
Dodge,
shame. That car was so beautiful.
if I was Dodge, you know what I would do? I would immediately
Hmm.
try to get back in the NASCAR Cup Series, like tomorrow.
Yeah.
I would announce it right now.
Then who? Well, in that case, who's Dodge then?
What do you mean? What team?
Well, you said if you were Dodge,
Right. Yeah.
then who's Dodge?
Oh, the Dodge Motor Car Company.
Ah, that's not you.
No,
Damn
it's
it.
not. I wish it
That
was
stinks.
though.
That stinks.
If I
So what
was,
would you do?
If I was Dodge,
Yeah.
I would
So
throw.
stupid,
I would
I'm
throw
sorry.
so much money at Stewart Haas Racing. You would
I
not
was
believe
gonna
it.
say,
Mm.
yes, Stewart Haas is the one that makes sense because the Tony Stewart's drag racing program has ties to them. So
Stewart Haas or RFK. Give me one of them two teams. We're good.
no, it's not RFK, that's for sure.
RFK was the one having talks with them last offseason. Just
I
saying.
was gonna say there's a lot of production cars that they'd have to take the name Roush off of. If that was gonna be a thing.
Not necessarily.
Think so?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't.
Petty Garage still makes Challengers and Chargers and Camaros and
Mm.
Mustangs.
Ah, that's true.
Roush just has like a contract with Ford.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying.
So
Yeah,
is this just like a really, really like weird path that's gonna eventually end up with when the Xfinity series becomes like 4x4s and crossovers and
CUVs.
stuff, where it's just gonna be a Jeep entered in the
I was
Xfinity
just about to
series?
say I want a Jeep
Is
Wrangler
that
Xfinity
is that
car.
is that what's gonna happen?
No.
Because I'm gonna be
Somebody-
very
No,
upset.
because Dodge
Somebody
has
out there,
a
make
CUV
that a
now.
template.
No, let me be angry
Dodge
about
Hornet.
this.
Dodge
Let
Hornet.
me be
Here it
angry.
comes.
Let me be
Unleash
mad.
the swarm.
Let me be
I'm gonna-
mad. It's
I'm
gonna
gonna
be
tell
a
Steven
Jeep.
to make a Jeep Wrangler Xfinity template.
No, not a Wrangler. Do a Renegade. That's funnier.
Oh, God.
No.
Renegade's funnier.
No, it's ugly.
Exactly. No, it'll be the Jeep Compass, and you'll like it.
I just told him I need a Jeep Wrangler Xfinity template.
There are literally 3 Jeeps that look good. The Wrangler.
Steven's gonna read that and be so mad.
I'm expecting a strongly worded message back.
Send him the time code 30. Like, just send him 31-minute mark.
Yeah.
When he tunes
that's
into
fine.
this.
Yeah, he just said why.
Tomorrow, 4:30 p.m.
Scuzz.
Eastern, 31-minute mark. Fake Racers podcast.
Do you guys remember when BMW just started tweeting about how they were going to join NASCAR and then they just didn't?
Yeah,
I do remember that.
there has to
They
be
would
one
make such a-
OEM.
They'd make such a good looking next gen car.
There
Oh my
has to-
gosh.
There has to be one OEM out there.
I messaged Steven I needed a Jeep Wrangler template, and he just sent me an extremely pixelated picture of Bill Elliott at Bristol in 2001.
Oh, perfect.
It sounds about right.
Same thing.
Close enough.
Yeah. So hosts of our rumored for a cup ride. We've gone on a tangent, but that's okay.
Yeah. That's weird. I don't understand that.
Well, he was running okay in the 7 car at Gateway or something.
No, a
It
whole
just-
half race sample
the
size.
The Xfinity car is so much different than the Cup car, right?
Yeah.
Like, and host of ours done really well on his Xfinity starts.
You'd
so-
think that they would want to build on that. I don't know. It's just weird.
I don't, if
I
you
feel like
can,
move
the
him
objective,
up to the 77 at like 19 is like the quickest way to tank his career.
the objective is to get to Cup, and if you can get to Cup, you go to Cup. There's only 36 people that get to say they're in the Cup Series.
I get that, and so the driver inside of me, and that's me, not another guy.
Are you sure?
Is yeah. I get the move. I get it. I understand wanting to go to the Cup Series. If I were to take a step back as a viewer, I would. I mean, like, why would you not go to the Xfinity Series at this point? At 19 with JRM, which was heavily rumored to be the case. I would love to know like the decision making process there. I feel like going to a winning Xfinity team and going to a not so great Cup team. I would go to the winning Xfinity team probably, especially considering that the 77 Spire team has always performed worse than the 7 Spire team, and it's clear what team is the main. I don't think there's a number 1 or number 2 team in most NASCAR stuff, but like at Spire, the 7 car is clearly what would be considered a number 1 team. I wouldn't like I would go to Rick Ware before I would go to the 77 car. Like I would go to a lot of other underfunded teams before I went to the 77
Would you go to
car.
the 78?
Oh, that's a tough one. Probably not, because that car is god awful.
I keep forgetting it even exists, if I'm being honest.
They
I
have
wonder what
sponsorship too.
Good for them.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
They're
We got
paying the
these
bills.
others. We got Legacy Motor Club. They're struggling to find some sponsorship that isn't a Maury Gallagher company. And you just got BJ McLeod with like Sandblaster.com.
Yeah, BJ McLeod shows up with like Tile Gator, and it's just like alligator clip art on the side of the car.
Hey, shout out to them. They're Cup Series owners. Love the hustle, but Oh man.
Hold on. BMW to NASCAR question mark's got to be the title to this one though. Since we talked about it, we gotta clickbait it that bad.
Stewart Haas Racing to Dodge, and it's just us like on the
Thanks for that. Still frame. I'm just gonna write code down real quick.
lots of
Very
red arrows and circles.
I'll absolutely make a like a Mr. Beast thumbnail face for you.
Yeah. Mr. Beast. That, or we could do the Wojak pointing one. We're like,
I kind of hate that I did that so well. I hate how easy it is to do that. That made me feel so dirty.
I need you both. I need one of you to go one way, the other person to go the other way, so that way I can have you in the two corners of the thumbnail.
Yes, God. Joe. Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, I'll just do the Mr. Beast like.
Yeah.
I gave 5 people cup ride.
I put 5 people on track in the NASCAR Cup Series at Darlington.
Anyway,
here is how they did.
I spent $5 million sponsoring Live Fast Motorsports.
Here's what I got. Shout out to do you guys remember JonTron when he did a NASCAR video?
Yeah, with Garrett Smithly.
That was amazing. That was awesome.
I do remember that.
That's a guy that deserves a lot of money. Dude puts out great videos. Anyways, yeah.
I gotta write down stuff because I had a good Garrett Smithly joke too, but I forgot that one.
Oh, you know what the best part about this?
Garrett Smithly just doesn't race anymore.
I was gonna say the best part about this is I know John's watching this and he hates Garrett Smithly.
I want to get the opportunity. I want to do a Garrett Smithly meet and greet, and John's invited.
It's just like
we can accomplish that.
Garrett Smithly and Cole Witt meet and greet featuring John Peterson.
Dude, I think one of those guys.
I figure I could beat Garrett Smithly in an iRacing race and call in a favor. You know, that wouldn't be too hard. It wouldn't be so bad, dude. This is the worst show.
That's okay.
NASCAR tested a new splitter or some shit. Who cares? Let's just talk about Garrett Smithly being
I'm more
silly.
interested in the fact that they called it the up-down splitter.
Wait, did they really? Is that real? I didn't know that.
For it.
Why is NASCAR the worst at naming things? Because remember when they had their prototype road racing car and they called it the left-right car?
They just love directionals.
Yeah.
And NASCAR is just a big fan of the D-pad.
Can't wait for the up, down, left, right BA start car.
That's what we have to do. NASCAR's going to introduce KERS next season, and that's what you have to do on the steering wheel.
You have to put in the Konami code every time you want to activate DRS.
Okay, so I guess we don't want to talk about that, huh?
Well, it sounds like it didn't go as well as people thought it would.
Yeah.
Which
they're going to test something out, it sounds like, tomorrow morning that they want to try that's a little more radical.
Good.
Yeah, Ballsy had a really good tweet thread if you guys want more in-depth analysis by somebody who actually knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, my idea of putting another car in front of your car in the wind tunnel, not seeming like such a crazy idea now.
They actually did that. If you read about when they tested this, they actually did that. They borrowed.
That's what I'm talking about.
They borrowed a backup car from the 54 team, and then they used one of the next gen cars that they made, and they put them in the wind tunnel together. And that is something that got released as part of the official statement. I forget I think it was from NASCAR.com from today, August the 31st, the year of our Lord Bubba Wallace 2023.
See, you all laughed at me, and then somebody at NASCAR watched that episode of the Fake Racers podcast and was like, hang on, this guy might be onto something here.
Go check it out. NASCAR.com. Support NASCAR for some reason. They don't care about you, but we care about them.
This stinks.
Hey NASCAR, invest money in MIS, please.
Oh my god. Shameless plug.
Listen, I'm gonna take a video this week. I'm gonna show you these awnings on the concession stands. They are straight out of 2002. All right,
Oh,
it's bad.
you made Joe turn to a New Yorker.
New Yorker
If it
here.
makes you feel better, the
Yeah.
Oakland Coliseum still has Raiders themed banners out in front.
That's awesome.
like the entrance
though.
and
It's
everything.
amazing.
rocks.
I love it.
That's so rock star, actually.
Michael McDowell's the front runner for the 10. Almirola retires. Eric Almirola, buddy. It's over.
Time to go home.
He rallied to a
Time
top
to-
10 finish, though. I think.
Yeah.
He was running up
I
there
think so.
despite
Finished better
having
than,
a penalty.
finished better than Briscoe, so.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's not really saying anything this year.
No,
Rare good day by Stewart Haas. Hey, we didn't even mention that Ryan Preece got a top 5.
He finally did
yeah.
it. He got a top 10.
Yeah.
couldn't get a top 10, gets a top 5.
It would have
Hell
been funny
yeah.
if he won, because then you would have had a car that literally hasn't scored a single top 10 in the playoffs.
That's awesome.
I was
I'm
like,
upset.
Just throw a torch on the entire chase grid at that point. Just burn it all down.
Ryan Preece is in the Final Four and wins the championship despite never having.
Stop.
He finishes
I'm only-
11th every
I
race.
I can only get so excited.
I appreciate for what we're talking about, the Eric Almirola thing, the J-Ski headline, which is Eric Almirola needs to decide 2024 plans.
He is literally holding that 10-car hostage. He has Gene Haas and Tony Stewart in a dark room, blindfolded, holding them hostage
It's
over
got
that
really
seat.
dark all of a sudden. Joe, you have something you want to tell us?
That's
man?
the thumbnail.
The thing at this point, though, with McDowell being rumored to replace him, is that an upgrade?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it is.
McDowell's pretty far ahead of him in
Resource-wise-
points right
Resource-wise, though.
now. McDowell is currently 16th, and Eric Almirola is 24th.
But is Michael McDowell just that much better of a race car driver?
Maybe?
Because remember, Eric Almirola is the average. He is the line.
Well, in that case, he's quite a bit ahead of him then. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm not willing to make any sweeping claims while we try to compare a driver who's at a team that's seemingly on the up and up to a driver from SHR, which is just the most down horrendously bad race team in the sport right now.
Yeah.
Davey, you're forgetting about the team that exists, that you have a car behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I just Joe, when I said is that an upgrade, did you mean I was referring to the drivers? Because I was referring from the perspective
No,
of
I
Michael
know. I knew
McDowell.
what you meant.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna
I knew what you meant.
Okay.
Yeah.
And to your point, Joe, SHR was really good
That's true.
at one point. And
I mean, Legacy was
Petty-
the 43
Petty
was really
slash-
good last year.
Petty/Legacy was, they were all right. I wouldn't say really good's a bit of a stretch there, bud.
There was a higher.
They had Ty Dillon. They had Ty Dillon in half of their cars last year. They couldn't have been that damn good.
They
all
got
right?
my hopes up. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we'll rephrase it this way: Eric Jones was really fast last year.
Yeah, Eric Jones is a good driver.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just an interesting
Start crying.
scenario to put it if you put Michael McDowell in the 10, and it's not to say any of their drivers are bad, but you have a 4-car team with 2 combined wins across all 4 of them in the Cup Series, and it's yeesh.
Okay, but if
Yeah.
Eric Almirola stays, it's 3. Oh no, I'm sorry, it's 4.
Yeah.
So.
You would think.
I'm not saying they shouldn't make that move. I would prefer Michael McDowell in my car over Eric Almirola, but it's still Stewart Haas is looking kind of directionless right now.
But in the case of okay, it's not McDowell. What multi-time winner veteran are they bringing in?
Eric Jones.
Maybe,
It's available.
but Eric Jones has a couple wins.
3.
That's not exactly what I'm envisioning here, Joe.
You can
Yeah.
bring in Alex Bowman.
Yeah, because it's going so great for him right now.
Yeah, but still, he's got 6 wins.
7. Get it right.
Sorry.
You guys think Chase Elliott would make a shock move from Hendrick Motorsports?
Dude, screw that person today that tweeted out Chase Elliott's leaving Hendrick, and then freaking X or Twitter or whatever the flip we're supposed to call it. Ooh,
What?
screw that app. Sending that to my notification.
Oh yeah, they do be sending just like nonsense tweets as like notifications for some reason. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not to say that like Stewart Haas shouldn't go after Michael McDowell, but it just kind of shows that like either they haven't really planned for post Harvick or their plans post Harvick haven't really gone to plan.
Yep.
Cole Custer didn't really work out. Yeah. So who knows? Maybe they'll get better next year, but that's still to be seen.
God, yeah. Doesn't look great.
No.
What you doing, Joe?
What's our rookie class? What are our rookie class moments of the weekend?
Bottom split.
Bottom split. I'm sorry.
God.
Why don't you change it for me on there? You know how to do that?
Anyway, while he's doing that, why don't you get us started?
I am.
My bottom split moment of the weekend. It has to go out to so many good ones.
Joe does not have a bottom split moment of the week selected. Joe has no such thing. He is not prepared, and we should all shame him for that.
He put himself first on the list and then didn't prepare.
I was first on the list last week too. It's not my fault.
My brother in Christ, you made the sheet. Davey, would you like to go?
Oh, I don't have one.
Oh my
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'm quitting the podcast.
I'm just kidding.
Matt, you said you have 4, so you can just go for me.
Tell you what. Go ahead.
I was going to say mine would be I had a couple, but I'll go with a personal one since I kind of hinted at it. Another stellar strategy by the 48 team this week in Cup to leave him out on old tires for like 90 laps. So instead of finishing 10th, they finished 17th, just like Nashville. Again,
hey, that's where they
good
finished.
to see
on
that
average.
gap
That's
to
their
16th
finish.
in points. Good to see that gap to 16th just getting bigger every week. Guys really nailed it again. So having a great time as a Bowman fan this summer.
Looking good out there, Bowman.
Still no top 10 since he came back. They run top 10 literally every week, and then it all goes wrong in the last 100 laps every week. So
that's big time. I watched this kid's like axle break at the kart track. Just like a wheel. I thought he lost a wheel, but it turns out go-karts have a single solid axle and it broke off.
oh,
It was ridiculous. I've never seen that in my entire life. And it just like the kid like whipped around and then was like trying to drive it with 3 wheels. It was a lot of fun. It was funny.
Oh my god.
And it's like a little kid, and the dad's like, "You see that? The axle broke. You see it?" And the kid's like 4 years old, and he's like,
"What's an axle?"
Okay, sorry. Joe, you got one yet?
I'm gonna give it to my keyboard because it broke.
Right. Okay.
Did it
Yeah,
just
also-
entirely stop working, or what happened?
Yeah, in the move it broke. So
Oh.
Oh, damn. That kind of sucks.
yeah.
See, that I was gonna say because I have like the worst record with tech because like I bought a mechanical keyboard like 8 years ago, and the first one I got was broken out of the box, and then I returned it, and then I got a replacement one, and then that one broke after a month, and then I returned it again, and then I finally got one that worked for a number of years. So I know how that feels. I bought a can of Fix-A-Flat like 3 days ago, and the nozzle on it broke immediately before I even hooked it up to my tire, and I was like, cool, okay, just more stuff broken off the shelf for me, like it always is. So yeah. At least you got to use it before it broke.
Mhm.
True.
What is our Road to Pro moments weekend?
I know this is gonna be a weird a gimme answer, but the Xfinity last 2 laps were incredible.
Yeah. It's just awesome. Mine it kind of parlays off that, which was Sam Mayer's victory celebration, where he completely ripped the nose off of his car because he ran into the gravel trap trying to do a burnout.
He was so happy. And he,
absolutely destroyed his car after the race.
Shout out to him. I mean, he's from Wisconsin. Getting your first career win. I think so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
it was his home. It was a
home
track.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I also
I made a lot of jokes, and obviously I was displeased that Parker couldn't get the job done. But I like Sam Mayer generally, so it was cool. Yeah. I'm glad he won.
But
Joe, you got one of these?
I do. It's just RFK Racing in general. They dominated this race, and if you want to be one of those top tier teams, you have to dominate races. And as a whole, they dominated. So, the step in the right direction. Rebuild's not over, but it's definitely. They wouldn't be, if we had a trade deadline, they wouldn't be sellers. So, yeah. I don't know if they'd be buyers, but they wouldn't be sellers. So who do we got this weekend? Xfinity Cup. We're going to Michigan.
Let's see. Let me look at the entry list. Need a refresher. I'm gonna go with. I don't know who I'm gonna go with.
Yeah, I'm having a tough time here.
Xfinity. I'm gonna take Austin Hill.
That's a good one. I like that Josh Berry is sponsored by a company called Lube Zone, so I'm gonna go with him.
Okay.
Man, I'm gonna go AJ Allmendinger.
Oh, he's running.
Mm-hmm.
Treat. Sounds like fun. Sounds like a party. Is he running the 2 other road courses?
I don't know.
I feel like he's getting close to his limit.
Let me call up Matt Colling. I'll see.
Okay. All right, then Cup Series. So you got Sunday, Michigan.
Michigan. I'm gonna go Bubba Wallace.
Like that pick?
I will take Kyle Busch.
I take Kevin Harvick in the hopes that I jinx him. So I have seen Kevin Harvick win too many damn times in the last
Kevin Harvick
5 years.
100% gonna win at Michigan now.
Dude,
it is
since they switched to Ford, I feel like he's won there more than he hasn't.
I'm gonna look this up right now.
The 2017 onward, like Larson won both races in 17, right?
Yeah. Let's see. He won in 2018, 2019.
He won both in 2020. He won 21.
Back to back.
Or no, he didn't win 21.
No, he did not.
Blaney won.
And then he won last year. Yeah, he's basically won almost every single year at Michigan.
Yeah. So, stop. Please. I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
Kevin Harvick has won again at Michigan. Yay.
Taxes and Kevin Harvick winning at Michigan.
But I have a feeling he's gonna be good this week. Ford has won the last 8 races at Michigan.
I think so.
Larson's the last non-Ford to win.
Yeah, because Logano last year. I remember Boyer won in 2018. The second one.
Boyer won the first one in 18.
Or yeah, Blaney won in 2021.
Harvick swept in 20.
Yeah.
19 Harvick won in fall. Logano won in the spring. That was that one where it was a 5:30 start on a Monday because the World Cup was on in 19.
Oh, I was gonna say, I was like, no wonder I don't remember that race.
I was so mad. It was good, but I was mad. I was like, why are we racing at 5:30 on a Monday at Michigan? It was literally it was dark. 10 minutes after the race, it was dark. It was God. What are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah, and Harvick's overdue for one too. I mean, they've been.
He hasn't won in a year.
Back-to-back 4th place finishes. Just finished top 10 again. Yeah. So he's gonna get one, I think, by the end of the year. And that was the Fake Racers podcast.
Yeah, it was. Make sure you
Some say it was.
follow us at Fake Racers on X,
Ugh.
on Twitter. Follow at JoJo
Saying
Network.
X just like makes it feel wrong.
Yeah, I
Well,
refuse to call it that.
At JoJo Network on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Make sure you're subscribed to JoJo Network and JTN2 on YouTube. You can follow these two gentlemen. We have their social media link down below.
You can follow me. And Matt.
Yeah.
You're like, wait a minute. What about me? And then you're like, okay.
Yeah, it's not like I've been spending the last few episodes like, I don't know why you would follow me. So.
But, folks, we can't thank you enough for watching Fake Racers podcast each and every week, for tuning in, for giving us any amount of your time. It's much appreciated. And, yeah, can't wait to talk with you folks again next week.
Goodbye.
Thanks, bye. Get out.